Hello, everyone. Welcome to another Game Ball Podcast stream. I'm your host, Mark. We're here with the News Hour on Sunday, June 9th. It's June 10th for those of you listening to the audio version of this podcast. And we are through Summer Games Fest, or Summer Game Fest. I think most of the major stuff has happened. The only thing that we haven't recorded yet is the Kojima Death Stranding 2 stream. That is after the news hour that I'm recording right now. So we won't know any of that news. But we'll probably cover that in Podcast Prime on Friday. So we have just housekeeping. Monday we'll be finishing Jaws. And then Tuesday, I believe we'll be recording the Expedition 33, either Tuesday or Wednesday. I got to check with Night Duck. We're recording the Expedition 33 spoiler cast, which you can watch live here. And then on Thursday, we'll be back with some Final Fantasy VI. And then on Saturday, I will finally get back into Trails in the Sky. On Friday, we'll be doing the podcast. Podcast Prime, talking all about SGF. We'll get our actual opinions. I'll do more just straight news stuff here for the things with a little bit of my opinion in there. But I'm going to save most of my thoughts for Podcast Prime. So be sure to tune in then. Or look for it in your podcast feed. That's about it. Things are going to get back to normal here for a little bit. We have a couple weeks to fill before Death Stranding 2 comes out, which is our next big game on the channel. So I'm trying to think of what to do to fill that time, but I may just take a break, until then. Hoarding all the Mark opinions to myself. Yep. Yeah, tonight's just going to be simple. Friday's going to be the big opinion show on SGF. And then me and you are going to talk sometime this week, either Tuesday or Wednesday. Tuesday works for me. Night Duck. You just let me know the time. And then, I don't have, Nice not winning softball means I don't have to be anywhere Tuesday or Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, anything like that. So, All right, well, let's get into what I've been playing. It hasn't been much. I've had a lot going on outside of video games in general. I think the only thing I've really played is NHL 25 that hasn't been on stream. That's more of I play it while listening to a podcast or watching a YouTube video. Excuse me. So just normal getting through that. The only game that I think I played was Jaws on the feed here. That game falls into the category kind of like the 3 that I beat on Endurance Run, where when you were a kid, that game seemed much harder than it actually was. You can literally beat that game in 10 minutes. If you get the luck that I was getting with the shells. The only thing I have not been able to figure out yet, which I looked up a video on it, is that end where you got to sort of hit him with the ship. And he needs to be on a certain part of the screen for you to be able to do that. I did not know that. Now I do know that. And maybe we'll beat it on Monday on first try. Jaws is... The good thing about Jaws is if you get enough luck with collecting shells, you can go get the Jaws thing because they force you to get the Jaws detector. Get the Jaws detector, go back to the one base power-up 1, go back to the other base power-up 2, and then if you get into the jellyfish bonus stage, that's fine. Get a couple more shells out of that. The submarine will show up at some point. You can go back and get power-up 3. You want to be able to get to the final stage of Jaws before you get to, I think it's the third bonus level, and then the jellyfish start going wild on the regular screens, and that's where you get in trouble. So you want to get to like a 3, 4, or 5 power level. If you can get higher than 5 or 6, or you want to take the risk of the weird jellyfish, feel free. But you only need to be like 3, 4, or 5 to sort of get to the end game. And then the end games just say you hit a button, have Jaws jump out of the water, but you got to do it at the right time, so that Jaws is in the right position, and then you can stab him. So yeah, it looks like I was a hair early on some things, but yeah, that game's very simple. It seems much harder when you were a child, but I was able to. We're gonna beat it, so it's no worry. You can throw another one on the list of games that I played a lot as a child that I've beaten. So yeah, that's about it. We're getting to a good point in Final Fantasy VI. I can't wait. We accidentally moved forward and was able to find a save point, thank God, in that game. So we should be getting to an important part of that game pretty soon. I can't wait. And then I can't wait to get back into Trails. I got, this Saturday killed me for it, or yesterday. And then, I don't think I have anything planned next Saturday, but we'll see. So without further ado, because there's going to be a long news segment, or could be a long news segment, we will get into the news. And we'll start off first with everything that was at the State of Play, which you could see me talk over. It's on the YouTube channel. The Xbox one should be going up, which is the one I just did today, sometime tonight. So it'll be there for you on Monday when you're listening to this podcast. But everything, PlayStation State of Play, SGF, and Xbox will all be up there. So let's go through PlayStation first. So one of the games that I'm very much looking forward to is the first one on the list here on this IGN story. 007 First Light. For those of you that don't know me, I like how it has some Xbox spoilers on the right here for you guys. But if you're coming to me not like getting updated on this and haven't been spoiled, that's on you. If you're on the video side. So anyway, for those who don't know, or maybe I don't know if I've mentioned it on this podcast, I think I've said it on They Call This a Movie. I am a 007 fan. I've seen all the movies up to this point. Some a lot more than others. So I was excited to see that they're going to do like. There's a story later on diving a little bit more, but I like the look of this game so far. Like the idea of it being a young Bond. I think I had a back and forth with Goat during the stream where we were talking about the thing, I think it's in Casino Royale, where it says the way to get a 00 status is you need 2 confirmed kills. And yeah, Goat was like, well, I've seen him kill a lot more people than 2. I'm like, no, but you only need 2 confirmed to get 00 status. Then you have a license to kill after that. So it'll be nice if they start like a new series here from like the beginning origins of Bond here. Next up, it's probably my second favorite game from the Sony thing, which was a surprise at the end. Marvel Token Fighting Souls. I am not a huge fighting game person in terms of playing it. I'm not very good at them, but I do like watching them. And all the Arc System games always look good and are fun to watch as a viewer. But they surprised me here. I was 100% surprised. You start seeing some of the things, you're like, wait, is that Captain America's shield? And then Arc System Works comes up, and I'm like, wait, they're gonna do, like, I kept thinking it was Capcom versus Marvel versus Capcom, And then the thing that instantly sold me on it was immediately the sorry, Game Ball Cat's like rubbing up against my leg. Was the they had them all speaking Japanese, which made them sound so much cooler than any game that I've seen them in. the Marvel characters. So I hope they keep it all in Japanese when you play, or give you the option to do that. The Silent Hill is next up. Silent Hill F is just showing off. It harkens back to a lot of those what's it called like Asian horror movies, Japanese horror movies like Ringu and things like that, where very creepy, very great designs here, more so than the Western versions of it, even if it is like set in Tokyo and stuff. This is more traditional Japanese setting and stuff like that I feel they can like, what is it, the camera game, whichever one that was. It was one where you took photos of the ghosts and stuff like that. That one is very much in the same realm of using traditional Japanese locations and houses and stuff like that. So Silent Hill F looks really good. Not sure if I'll play it, but looks good. Probably in terms of games that I will play, I scrolled too far. Final Fantasy Tactics is probably number 2 on the list of games that I will play when it comes out. As a fan of the originals, I didn't beat it because young Mark in 1997 didn't understand RPGs as much as Mark 2025 understands them. And I want to give it a second shot. I don't know if I'll do it on stream or off stream, but I do want to give it a second shot here. And I probably, part of me wants to play with the classic stuff, but I also want the voice acting. So we'll see how that goes. But that's coming out on September 30th because everything is coming out in September. So we will see how that goes. Sorry if I'm a little distracted on here. Literally, she was good all day, and now she's just bothering me. Hey, Batman, how you doing? So next up, a game that I will trust just the opinion of Night Duck on. Neo 3 was received, and there is a demo out for you to play. Neo is not a game that I would be any good at or would know if it was good or not by playing it. So I will fully trust Night Duck on this one, as he is the resident Neo expert of our crew. His review so far is "We are so fucking back." So for those of you that like Neo, that is a ringing endorsement because he said Neo 2 was a slight disappointment to him. So the "We are fucking back" is a good sign for all of you Neo players out there. It looks really cool, and it's a game I probably have a good time playing, but I wouldn't get far, and I'd probably get frustrated, and it would fall into like a lot of the Souls likes that occur with me. Speaking of games we already have scheduled, and I already knew it was coming out, so it doesn't go on that list with Tactics and 007. Metal Gear Delta. Just showed off some of the funny things. That game would sound fucking awesome, Night Duck. Yeah, but but if it's done right, those things are fucking great together. Samurai and ninjas. So, but anyway, back to Metal Gear Delta with an obvious ninja in Snake here. Mostly the trailer was just showing off more of the jokey sides and showing off some of the bosses. They basically showed the majority of the game. If you've watched every trailer, it's kind of funny. And then they also showed off the Ape Escape mode that'll be on there, where you get to capture the apes. and then they showed something that's probably a multiplayer. It was related to camouflage, but the way the guy was moving made me think it was multiplayer. So, yeah, a lot of things to look forward to there. I love it. Ghost of Yotai has its own state of play coming up in July. We probably won't talk over that because I don't have much experience with the first one. So, yeah, but I would recommend you watching it. It looks like it's going to be another great one there. Astrobot's getting 5 new levels. So if you've played Astrobot and you love it, you're getting 5 new challenge levels. So just keep that game loaded on your PlayStation. That's all this is saying. And the game that let it off was Luminous, and that's coming in the fall here. Luminous is a rhythm game that I've heard a lot about, a rhythm puzzle game, I guess you could call it. Sort of in... I mean, it's being made by the Tetris Effect people, so it's like, you know what you're getting there. Oh, okay. I'll check that out, Night Duck. So, Luminous is a game I've heard about as somebody that's not really good with rhythm-based things, as we've seen on play on this stream before. I haven't tried it, but I've heard really good things. It was the thing that I was kind of spoiled about. I didn't know it was Luminous, but somebody on Blue Sky said if this is the game they're opening with, they should shut it all down. They can't top this. And I thought it was going to be something big. Well, I got Luminous as big, but it was like that just shows you the regard that some people in the video game industry hold this game to. Next up, Pragmata is still real. The game with the little creepy girl who we found out is probably an AI android thing. And we found out that she will be riding on your back and she can help you in fights. Looks good. I don't know if I'll give it a shot day one, but it definitely looks like a game I would pick up at some point. Which one was the Vaporware game? Are you talking about Luminous, the first game? And Thief is now back as a VR game. I picked up pretty early on this that this was Thief. It's a good genre to be a VR game. Because there's a lot of what's it called? Immersion you can have being a thief in VR. So be interesting to I probably won't play it because I do not have PSVR, obviously, but it's good to see they're still trying VR. And then probably one of my favorite trailers of the whole thing. Oh, Pragmata. Okay. Oh, okay. I get what you mean now by Vaporware. No. Pragmata, I think it's coming out. But it looked like it was going to be Vaporware for a while. But, yeah, it's I think it's coming out. They wouldn't have announced it here and done the whole apologize for the release date thing. But yeah, back to Romeo is a Dead Man. Suda51's new game. And there's not a man in the industry that is having more fun doing what he's doing. Maybe Kojima, than Suda. Suda was so excited to explain this game to you on the thing. And bless that man. I want him to live forever and make games forever. It's from his Grasshopper manufacturer, which is his studio. It'll come in 2026. It's a wild action adventure game. Suda is really weird. And the gaming industry is better for it. Next up is something interesting in terms of from the fighting game community, and I may actually pick this up. The Mortal Kombat Legacy Collection from Digital Eclipse, who did like Tetris Forever and the Atari 50 collection. So there'll be like documentaries on this as well, which would be right up my alley to see. And it also will have a lot of the games on it. I mean, I played a lot of Mortal Kombat 2, as I think a lot of us did, at least in my age group. Whether or not we were any good at it. Yeah, we just would play that because it was a cool thing to play. You know, all the nerds played Street Fighter. Because that did not have blood or fatalities, because we were cool with all that stuff. You were a Tekken household. So you were the, what is it? You were like the, I guess there would have been, this time period would have been 4 households. Because you would have had your Street Fighters, your Tekkens, your Mortal Kombats, and your Virtual Fighter households. Maybe King of Fighters people, but they probably mix in with Virtual Fighter people. But yeah, playing. I never spent so many quarters on something I was terrible at, like Mortal Kombat 2. So this thing definitely has piqued my interest, and I will look forward to possibly checking it out, or maybe seeing if someone streams it or something. Because I'd be really interested in the documentaries. And because of the Marvel thing, of course, they announced a fight stick. A fight stick. I don't know how many people in the fighting community are going to love a wireless fight stick. I don't know how popular it'll be just for that reason. It looks slick. It looks cool. But I don't know how many people will actually, buy it because of the wireless nature. And then the last couple ones, we have Ninja Gaiden Ragebound. Cool retro side scroller, which will be fun to play. We'll get to the other one a little bit later. The other Ninja Gaiden coming out. But this one looks cool as usual. Bloodstained has an interesting thing. Someone said, like, worst Castlevania was what I heard one of the people watching it before they knew it was Bloodstained. But it just has that look about it where, it's like a little bit off from being really good Castlevania. So, yeah. We'll see. This is like, I think they've done like 4 games in the Bloodstained series or something, 3 or 4. And they all seem to be different or maybe not connected. It's just weird. And then Tides of Tomorrow, which is a multiplayer game where you can sort of impact other people's journeys and stuff. I don't know. I was a little confused by this. I probably should look more into it before Friday. But, yeah, it's definitely something I probably will not play. But it seems like it's doing something interesting. Sword of the Sea, same thing. It's just like Journey in the fact that it's a game that looks really good that I think I want to pick up and play, but I never do. Check out it. And then Sea of Remnants is another one of these Sea of Thieves sort of knockoffs sort of things, where I guess you're like puppets or some kind of marionettes, like wooden figures that are like pirates, essentially. And then Karen is the survival climber, which would be way too hard on my anxiety to even try. But I would love to watch people stream it. It says to be very realistic in what it tries to do. Digimon, never watched or played Digimon. So really, there's probably a ton of people out there that love it. I really have no opinion on it. Um, and then Everybody's Golf, Hot Shots. Basically, they just did the Resident Evil 7 where they blended the two together because Everybody's Golf has been Hot Shots in North America forever. And Everybody's Golf was the Japanese version. So they just sort of blended together. And they're going to have Pac-Man in it. And then probably the game that'll most likely be watched on stream and not played is... Yeah, I didn't realize that either. That Digimon was that dark. Yeah. Yeah. And I agree with everything that Doug's saying in chat. They're just... when Sony breaks something, they just make you try to buy shitty stuff to replace it. That is the Sony way. But Baby Steps is definitely a game I will watch someone stream. Night Duck had mentioned Northern Lion, and that'd be a good one. I don't know who else would possibly do it. But it'll definitely be a game to watch someone stream. I will not be streaming it. And the final game is Hiragami. It's a character action game. Like isometric, I guess Hades-like maybe? That sort of... you can origami into different animals and stuff like that to help you defeat the levels. So that was the state of play. It was a 7 out of 10. Had some good stuff in it, but not anything worthwhile. And it wasn't so boring that it gets a 5 or a 6. But it was a very, very mediocre 7 out of 10. All right. Moving on to Summer Games Fest, which is the longest show of the evening. And it looks like they're just going to list it in order of big announcements. So first off, right off the bat, Resident Evil 9 Requiem was the show closer. And it was pretty well done. I should have picked up on her last name, Ashcroft, who I believe is a character in Outbreak. I think her mom's in Outbreak. I know her mom's in one of the games, Alyssa. I mean, they obviously mention it here, but I think she's in Outbreak. So I should have got it right off the bat. And then someone jokingly said that they knew immediately it was Resident Evil because of how they animated blonde hair. And I laughed. And then they showed like a side-by-side of all the blondes ever in Resident Evil. And their hair looks all the same. So Resident Evil 9 looks good. I think the thing I like the best about it, and we'll get deeper into it on Friday, is that it looks like we're going back to Raccoon City after the bombs have dropped. So God knows what nuclear bombs or whatever they dropped on Raccoon City will do to what was there. And then there's already been detectives trying to find out who are the people talking on the clip. Some people think Carlos is going to be there, and it's just going to be fun. Going back to where it all started. And it's supposed to be like a new style of Resident Evil game, so I'm interested to see what that exactly is. Next up is a game I'm pretty sure Jonathan, if he has not already played, he has at least downloaded it. The raccoons really made a mess of the place. I know, he just left them behind. Lies of P's Overture was released yesterday. Lies of P is a game that I look at and go, yeah, I think I would like that. And then Night Duck was like, no, you wouldn't, you wouldn't last that long in this game before getting frustrated. And I trust his opinion on that because there's a few people that know exactly. He's as he says in the chat, he's already has a new save in Chapter 6 to prep for the DLC. So he's ready to go, and he's just like with Neo. I will trust his opinion on this more than me actively trying it out for myself and use up the already limited free time that I do have. So next up, we have Dying Light Beast, which I believe is a standalone DLC for Dying Light. Dying Light games, I've said this about a bunch of things we talked about today. A game that I've looked at from afar and was kind of like, yeah, I won't play that game. That game looks cool. And then I just never get around to it because something else big comes out. Last year it was because I played 4 100-hour RPGs. One on stream, 2 off stream. That just took up most of my time that I had outside of doing streaming and working in life. But the Dying Light got pushing down the backlog. But this looked good. All these games seem to have very visceral with the combat here. Next up is Wu-Tang Rise of the Deceiver. Wu-Tang Forever. They say the game meshes Afro-surrealism and anime. So, whatever that kind of means. I think I know what they're trying to say there. I think you're essentially... Let me scroll down a little bit here. And you'll fight alongside the Wu-Tang Clan to fight back the corrupting forces of the Deceiver. So, yeah. It should be a fun game. Maybe I'll play it. Maybe I'll just watch somebody stream it. But it should be interesting. Onimusha. I played the original. Don't remember how much I played of it. So this looks really good to me. But again, it's that thing where once you cross over 40, which I'm almost there, it's sort of like there's such a limited time frame that you have to play games. And even more if you're like Night Duck and Metal Militia and Batman, where you do have a child or two to worry about, where that time's even more limited than someone like me who's single and without kids. Even though I do run around and do stuff for my nieces, I don't have that when there is nothing to do externally, like outside. I have a little bit more time here, and even I go, I don't know. There's so many other games, and sometimes I just want to relax, and do podcasts and watch movies and stuff. So Onimusha is definitely a game on that list that if I ever get time, I will check out here. But it looks really, really good. The Game of Thrones game, I let our resident Game of Thrones person, Batman, know this game was coming. Because he's also someone that played some RTSs in his time. Beat my ass at StarCraft 2. Because I am terrible at RTSs, and he had some experience with it. He says it looks like the Lord of the Rings game. I think it's Battle for Middle-earth or whatever. It's like the Game of Thrones version of that. He said when he watched the trailer and stuff for it. And thankfully, this is not a mobile game, so it did not disappoint everybody like the last one did. I think that was at the VGAs. But it's a cool idea in terms of, it's already set up to have different kinds of factions that you can use in the game. So, yeah. And once again, like I said, thankfully it is not a mobile game. Next up is Arc Raiders. It'll be officially released on October 30th. It's this game that was announced, I believe, in 2021. So it's nice to see that it's finally getting its final full release, and more details on exactly what'll be in the game and stuff like that will probably be announced closer to its launch. I don't know if that'll be on some kind of special direct or we'll get it at, Gamescom or something like that. But yeah, it'll be on PC and console. So if you have been waiting for Arc Raiders, you don't have to wait much longer. And something that got me, next 2 games got me real excited. Hitman World of Assassination added the elusive target for the next month. which is Mads Mikkelsen playing Le Chiffre. So I might boot up my Hitman to maybe take out Mads. We'll see if I stream it or not. But I'll probably definitely try and do it in the next month. But yeah, I was excited because this is, as I mentioned during the Sony thing, I am a huge Bond fan, and I think Le Chiffre is one of my favorite villains in the Bond series, and I think it has a lot to do with Mads Mikkelsen's performance in it. So it's great to see him back, and it is him doing it. And he seemed really excited on stage to do it, and yeah, this one should be a good one. And then the next game was Scott Pilgrim. I had come to Scott Pilgrim sort of, I guess, the backwards way. I watched the movie, then read the comics, or the graphic novels, or whatever you want to call them, all 6 of them. And the experience I got from that is that the way Brian Lee O'Malley finished the books is much better than the way the movie finishes the story. Yeah, okay. Now maybe I'm not so much of a minority. But yeah, I had gotten in so early with the book things as I still bought the black and white graphic novels before they colorized them. I beat the first game. I played it and beat it a lot. And had my character very, very powerful. Yeah, I had a really good time with the first game. So I'm excited for this one. I want to see who the other, unless if it's like 5 of the 7 evil X's are the other 5 characters. I'm wondering who else, will they have knives in there? Will they find a way to get, like, the other band members of Sex Bomb in there? Let me see if it says it in the paragraph here. Nope, it does not. It says basic information. But yeah, I was excited to see this game get announced here. So I will definitely be playing through that. Whether it's on stream or not is unknown. Next up, Mortal Shell 2 was the opening game on Summer Games Fest. It looked really good. From what I have heard, this is coming out in 2026 on all consoles and PC. A lot of people said that the first game was fine, like a very run-of-the-mill action game, So this just looks like a complete upgrade from the people that I've heard have experience with the original. So I'm wondering if you even have to play the original to play this one. This one would be a fun like game to watch people play on the internet. Killer Inn. It's sort of like I guess like what's that game called? You guys know the game. But in like a more detective like fashion than not Werewolf, not Mafia. Among Us. There you go. 3rd time's the charm. Among Us was what I was thinking. Yeah. So. Yeah. Yeah. Among Us was what I was thinking of. But yes, all 3 of those games, or all 4 of those games, match in with this. So, those are all the same game, essentially. But the one in my head was Among Us. So this one should be fun to see people, to see if it gets as popular on streaming as Among Us did. All right, next up, Death Stranding 2. We got a Neil and Lucy trailer. Got a little more information about them. After this podcast, we will be watching the thing they're doing at Summer Games Fest. at 10 p.m. Eastern. So we'll probably talk a little bit more during that. But I'm excited for this game. The funny thing that Kojima said on stage, he's like, I don't want to spoil it. And somebody was like, this game's unspoilable. You could tell somebody anything that happens in this game, and they're like, sure, whatever. And it would still be shocked by what it means in context. It's a wild game in that sense. So I can't wait to play it at the end of the month for y'all. Wildgate, space shooter from former Blizzard devs, will be out July 22nd. And it is, I believe, like some kind of like team-based game. I think they said there's 20 people with teams of 5 or something. It was really unclear. I'd have to go back and watch the podcast to get the exact thing there. But yeah, so Wildgate. Stranger Than Heaven is probably a game I am... God, I hope it comes out during a time when I am able to make that the exclusive stream game. I like everything RGG does, and Stranger Than Heaven is a pretty good name for the thing that was officially Project Century for a while. Yeah, so Bandai Namco revealed Toa and Guardians of the Sacred Tree, which is a Hades-like action game. So we're starting to get the Hades-likes that are coming out. This one will come out in September. I'll give it a try. If it's on Game Pass and all, I'll give it a try. Sonic Racing Cross Worlds. Hell yeah. It showed off you know what I'm trying to say. It's late. Ichiban and Joker, and along with Minecraft Steve as guest racers. Looking forward to this. Sonic All-Star Racing Transfer. Yeah. Sonic Racing All-Stars Transformed is probably the only kart racing game that could compete with Mario Kart. And I'm hoping that Cross Worlds does that for this generation. And because there needs to be a second kart racer out there, because there's so much room for it. Especially since Mario Kart's locked to one console. But I will be checking this out, as I am a big Racing Transformed fan. Atomic Heart 2. Atomic Heart was another game that falls on that list of games that I wanted to play, but just got pushed to the back as other games came out. Atomic Heart 2 looks good. They had the fun trailer that got us one of our strikes. We didn't get a strike. We got, copyright thing where if we tried to monetize the YouTube videos, we would get nailed. But yeah, it looks very interesting. Lego announced a couple games here, and I think one at Xbox, or no, later here. This is Lego Voyagers. It's a 2-player co-op, kind of like a Split Fiction sort of thing. And it has Friends Pass, just like Split Fiction. Body horror game Ill, which is Tom's favorite game of the show, got a new gameplay trailer. I'm sure you've watched this trailer a bunch, Tom, as you get all excited for Ill coming out at some point. Chronicles Medieval, I think, opened the show, or was pretty close to the beginning, with Tom Hardy doing the voiceover in it. It looks like, medieval stuff. It looks like you can, I guess, fight good enough to become king, is what they were implying. But yeah, so that was everything shown off that wasn't an ad. That wasn't an ad at Summer Games Fest. A 2-hour show, lots of ads in there. And then the funniest ones were how Capcom had 2 different ads that sort of played as fake outs for the real announcement at the end. Next up, Xbox Showcase. And before we get into it, just to let you know, Microsoft and Xbox are still on the BDS boycott list for their Azure system supporting the Israeli military. So if you are joining on that boycott, understandable. We're, not highlighting Microsoft and Xbox things, but for the game showcase, we kind of have to do just in case if that boycott gets lifted at some point, and we still want to be able to inform you of the games coming, so they're not such a big shock in the future. All right, so with that disclaimer out of the way, so they ended the show with Black Ops 7 coming this year. I don't know where it falls in the story. I guess we just went through Clinton, so I guess this would be late 90s, early 2000s they would be up to. I didn't play through the campaign of 7 to know. So, yeah, I would have to play through the campaign to know where this makes sense for falling in. And then Silksong after, they didn't even, that's funny. I just realized that IGN didn't put the Deadpool thing in its rundown of Summer Games Fest stuff. Because they did a Silksong fake out with the really terrible looking Deadpool VR game. But anyway, Silksong will be launched in 2025 along with the new Xbox handheld, which we'll get to later in this, I see, known as the Ally, as you can see in the upper right-hand corner if you're watching here. And then Phil Spencer ended it by teasing that Forza, Fable, E-Day, Gears of War E-Day, and maybe even a new Halo would be coming in 2026. So, I guess we'll find out about those things at the Game Awards. This one we can go through real fast. Final Fantasy VII Remake Integrate is coming to Xbox in the winter, and Final Fantasy XVI is out today. So if you have Xbox and it's your only system, and you want to play Final Fantasy XVI, it is out today for you, and Remake is coming, with Rebirth probably following soon after. So the Invincible, that comic book series that is on Amazon Prime, is coming with there's another fighting game out there called Invincible Versus. It's a 3v3 a tag fighter. It'll be out for PC and consoles. And it looks like you will have, your main characters in it, Mark, Adam, Eve, and, it's another fighter. I'm not really much in the FGC, so I will trust people in that community to let me know if this is any good. But things I am in the community of. The Persona 4 remake is real, and it's called Persona 4 Revival. It basically looks like what they did to Persona 3 in terms of updating the graphics and all that, which is very understandable. It's a very easy thing for it to do. All they did was just show a teaser, which I wish gave us a little bit more. So I guess I had to reveal something because of all the things that were out there about voice actors saying they were not in the remake, that they had to show that there was a remake. I'm just hoping that they upgrade some of this stuff that's a little too much, wouldn't pass the muster in 2025 that's in there. So I hope they do upgrade that. But I am excited for Persona 4. We will play that on stream for sure. Animo, I guess I say that. Let's players transform into Pokemon-like creatures. This is a thing from Paw Prince Studios, coming out in 2026. Age of Mythologies, which is a game I enjoyed, but I was like, the remake retold didn't hold as much for me, but they're getting an expansion, for those of you that are into it. Talking about the Heavenly Spear, and it pulls a lot from Japanese mythology for it. So that will be released in the fall on console and PC. Planet of Lana, Children of the Leaf, is confirmed coming to PCs and consoles in 2026. I don't remember Planet of Lana, so I don't know much about this. I'd have to probably do a little more research before Friday. But it does look like I like the look of the game. Next up, Mundang Two Hearts. Um, as Stuff action to it. The story seemed very interesting. It's coming to PC via Steam and Epic, PlayStation, all consoles basically, except Switch, in 2026. Hold on one second. There Are No Ghosts at the Grand. Seems like a fun game. I will probably be very interested in it. You're sort of renovating this hotel, but also finding out secrets, or you're doing the renovations while looking for secrets. So that'll come out on PC and Xbox in 2026. Alpha Lion is a space thing from Don't Nod. This is from the non-Life is Strange people, I believe, in Don't Nod. So it'll be a little more action oriented, less like visual novel storybookish. Clockwork Revolution, which was one of my favorite games in this presentation. It has a crazy steampunk world. They showed a lot of it, but then didn't give any kind of date. But I'm assuming it's coming out sometime soon, like 2026. Just because they showed way too much of it for it not to be far into development. Chronos: The New Dawn is a Blooper Team joint, coming in fall of 2025. The Grounded 2 sequel is confirmed. That's coming to Games Preview on July 29th. This time they're stuck at a local park, and it looks like you now have mounts. I don't know if there are mounts in the original, but it looks like mounts were a big feature on here. The Spiritfarer developer revealed a game called At Fate's End, which I was really into the look of this game. I really like Spiritfarer a lot, so I'm interested to see what this more action-focused story will tell. Beast of Reincarnation is a Game Freak game coming to PC and console in 2026. And yeah, it's always fun to see Pokemon developers sort of branch out a little bit, so I'm curious to see what this change of pace looks like. Double Fine has a new game out coming out called Keeper, where it's sort of like some weird world where you're a walking lighthouse. It's Double Fine. I'm sure it'll be all kinds of weird and creepy, but also very, very well done. DLC for Indiana Jones and the Great Circle, which I will pick up and maybe we'll play through it, because it might be during a gap in games at that time. That comes out in September, early September. It's called Indiana Jones and the Great Circle, The Order of Giants. Tony Hawk 3 and 2 showed off that they're going to have the turtles in the game. Michelangelo specifically was in it, so we might get some fun guest characters for Tony Hawk when it releases in July. Sorry for seeming like I'm speeding through this a little bit, but I'm losing my voice a tiny bit. Ninja Gaiden 4 is coming out on October 21st, 2025. It looks great. I didn't mess with the 3D Ninja Gaidens too much, so not much of an opinion on that. Probably more looking forward to the 2D one personally. Super Meat Boy 3D was revealed. Looks fucking awesome. Again, I'm not very good at platformers, so Super Meat Boy not something at the top of my list to play, but it will come out in 2026. The Amazing Season 17, that's a number I wasn't expecting for Sea of Thieves. Smuggler's Tide launches in August. It seemed like a fun story of, stealing items and selling them on the black market, I would assume is what it is. And I guess the big thing on this is the Rogue Ally, Xbox Ally X is the Xbox handheld. It looks like it would work on all Windows machines. So I don't know if this is like exclusive Xbox handheld, but this is the one coming out this year. And it's like I've been saying, as long as they get a device that can play Game Pass games on it, it'll work. But they also look like they got Steam and, a couple other launchers in there as well. So it will, be the best that Xbox can do to compete with Steam here. In terms of the handheld market, or maybe they just want to have their own niche, since Steam did agree to be on it. Renaissance, A Plague Tale, was revealed. Plague Tale is another thing that's on my backlog that I should be playing through. This game looked just as gorgeous as those two games. So looking out for that. High on Life 2. We'll see how this is. The other one was surprisingly better than it should have been. We'll see if they can continue this. And they only did a pre-rendered trailer here today. And then the game that we sort of missed on our watch through because I came in hot at the very beginning. We missed the first little bit of the Outer Worlds 2 release date, which is October 29th. The game looks amazing. Hopefully it's slightly longer than the original. And also finds a way to make me care about the characters in the game more than the original did. So that was the Xbox showcase. Basically that handheld was the big announcement for it. I was surprised. It looks like a great idea. All right, moving on to a couple news stories that we'll run through pretty quickly. The thing I'm most excited about with the Bond, and we'll dive deeper in on Friday, is that it's not going to be part of the James Bond film canon, which thank God, because that allows IO to tell a completely different story and not have to be held to any kind of thread or character or storyline or anything that has been told before. They can start at the beginning, which is what they're doing with First Light, and just tell their own James Bond story. So this was the most exciting news I saw all weekend about 007. Surprisingly, the Nintendo 2 top list of games, obviously Super Mario Kart World. Cyberpunk was number 2. Welcome Tour, no surprise. People, even though it sucks that they have to put out that money, was number 3. But the funny part is numbers 5 and 7 were the Legend of Zelda upgrade packs, making the top 10 there. So really, it's kind of funny that instead of just buying the Switch 2 editions, which were 12 and 14 on this list, a lot of people just bought the $10 upgrade pack, which I assuming is the same thing as the Switch 2 editions, but it's funny to see them on that list higher than the new games. Moving on, funny thing, Stellar Blade Director, can't wait to see our mods, so be ready for this game to get way too sexy and way too horny. I want to see the first controversy that comes out of this when someone does an all-nude mod of the game. So we will see how long until this game gets banned because of a modder and he backs off this. But so yeah, there are already things listed as adult on there, and this will just explode now that he's given the thumbs up to it. Yeah, well, that makes sense. Going back to that list. Yeah. I'm just surprised that it's number 2, to be honest. I would have thought that... hopefully there's less horny mods out there, too. But we both know gamers. And that's what they're going to do. Yeah. My surprise going back to Cyberpunk was I was surprised to see it at number 2. Um, okay. Well, yeah, maybe I gave too much credit there, Night Duck. With the 99% of the Solar Blade mods are marked as not safe for work, and the remaining mods are all God mode. So yeah, but yeah, my final thing was my surprise was Cyberpunk being at number 2, not so much that it was in the top 4. I thought it would be 4, to be honest. Um, and then moving on, our final thing, and I am doing this for our good friend Roxy Foxy. I will announce on the news that Phasmophobia, I will ignore the first part of that sentence, is the next game that's going to get a movie adaptation from Blumhouse. I don't know exactly what they're going to do in a Phasmophobia movie. I guess maybe you'll follow around ghost hunters or something. I don't know where the story is on that. Yeah. So, yeah. So this is for Roxy Foxy. I put it out in the news. Phasmophobia is getting a movie. Yes. I admitted it. Don't know what they're going to do with it. There's good lore in terms of the ghosts in there, but I don't know what you do with a movie around it. I guess we'll see. And if it's a good movie, I will admit it to Roxy on her stream when it comes out. So that'll do it for the show. I will be back if you're watching live in about 20 minutes. Oh, I have no idea what that is. That's weird. Sorry about that, Night Duck. He got an ad even though he's subscribed. Yeah. So, yeah, I don't know. We can look into that in the background. I don't know why that did that. But anyway, we'll be back in about 20 minutes with the Death Stranding 2 stuff. Yeah, so be sure to check us out then. And then we'll be back this evening if you're watching this on YouTube or listening to it with some more Jaws. So, thank you guys for joining me. It has been a fun week. And we'll see you next time. Bye.